Ray looking at his cards, swinging with the Goblin Guide.
Goblin Guide revealing a
Reveal
land.
Eldrazi
Free card
Temple.
for the opponent.
I don't think Eldrazi Temple is the card you want to see revealed there if you're playing the burn deck, do you?
Well, that concealed courtyard not being a fetch land is already
Kind of rough, I'd assume, yeah.
not great. Oh, this is actually a fun one. I believe this to be a Shrine of Burning Rage.
What does that do?
So at least we have some clock. Basically, the shrines were recycled from Scars of Mirrodin block, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They get a counter every upkeep.
Okay.
And when you cast the spell of the appropriate color,
Mm-hmm.
so in this case red, and this one you get to sack to pay 3 mana and sacrifice it
Mm-hmm.
to deal damage to
Then the
something,
amount of counters.
preferably your opponent's face.
With
Equal
the
to
amount of counters right there. Okay.
There's that Talia.
Yeah, Mark having an Ether Vial on 1. The Cave of Koyos tapping for Kolos here. So doing quite okay in his life total. And has a decent blocker for the Goblin Guide with first strike
The
off
problem
of Talia.
here is I believe Ray has enough lands and a Searing Blaze that's going to cleanly answer the Talia
Alright.
if
We'll
he
see
wants it.
if that happens right here.
I assume he wants it.
I think that Thalia is going to be a very big problem if he doesn't answer it this turn.
Oh, Ray.
Offering the block.
The Talia has first strike.
Getting a trigger, revealing a concealed courtyard, getting the card.
Do it before blocks, please. Yeah, it's gonna happen. He just wanted to get the information first. See the card hits on top.
Ray
Very
at
nicely
17
played.
now from the fetch land.
I believe I would venture a guess that both players are 3-0.
I think
because
so as
they
well.
are from table 2.
Are we going to see the Searing Blaze come in here?
I believe so if he Ray's fetching here. Yeah, there's the Searing Blaze, so that will be
3 to the Thalia, 3 to the face.
3 to the face, dropping Mark to 13. And then the Goblin Guide
And it's
connecting.
going to hit him
So
for
then
going
he's
to
down
11.
to 11. And that will be an extra counter on the Shrine.
Yep.
Which I doubt will be the most effective card against the Flicker Wisp deck. But
Yep.
we'll see.
We will see.
Also, please note that this is game 1.
Did we miss one of the...
I have to turn 1 is a fetch land. So then he went fetch shock and now fetch for the mountain, so that would be 16.
Yes, you are correct.
Thank you, Short. Also, why are you not playing?
As we said before, we're still looking for a dedicated life total guy. That could be you. Aether Vial ticking up to 2 in Mark's next turn.
And the third land. Not even that Eldrazi temple that was revealed earlier.
Quite surprising, if I'm honest.
Well, this is a Flicker Wisp that
That he does need to pay 1 life.
cost him 1 life.
No, actually, it's double
Oh,
concealed
it's
courtyard.
courtyards again? There's courtyards.
So 2 courtyards, 1 Cave of Koyos.
And it makes sense, because now the courtyard still comes into play untapped.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he has a path with it as well.
Yeah, or a push might even be better.
Or push. Does it have a main deck pushes as well?
Let's see. Doesn't look like it, no.
Ah, no, it's a path.
Yep.
The path before attacks, for some reason. Not quite sure on the timing of this. But seeing the Shrine of Burning Rage, it didn't tick up yet.
Yeah, perhaps he's... Yeah.
But
I would say it is better if you wait for the information at least to cast that path. Perhaps
well,
even an Eidolon's coming in here, but something off the Ether Vial
at
here.
least let him attack.
Tidal Scholar after the draw step, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's another good card. Will be some minor speed bump, but he has to be quite quick closing out this game.
Yeah.
Against.
So what are you hoping to snag with the Scholar here? Perhaps a Boros Charm?
Well, I think Ray should just cast his Boros Charm and Lightning Bolt to the face. That leaves his opponent at 4. And him with some Eidolons, I believe, that are not gonna be very good now.
No, Eidolon's against the Aether Vial.
And then that Shrine is gonna finish off Mark next turn.
He is revealing his hand though.
Oh, it's actually
Lethal either way. He can only take 1 card. 9 points of burn there. In the 3 1-mana spells.
But is it 9? It's not gonna be lethal this turn. Are those Rift Bolts or Skewer the Critics?
I think those are Rift Bolts, looking at the artwork.
Because with the new Skewer the Critics, everything is difficult.
That is true. Although he will be able to cast either of them for Spectacle cost. Because Mark can only take 1 card and he has 2 enablers for Spectacle, being the Boros Charm and the Lightning Bolt.
Ah, but if the Boros Charm that's more expensive, so then you can't cast all of your spells.
Yeah, so I assume we're going to see 2 Rift Bolts now, and then the Lightning Bolt. Oh, interesting.
Maybe he want. Oh, now it's better to keep up the Shrine to do the first 3, because then you. Well, then it's actually worst against Talia, so I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Not sure,
because
but
you have an
otherwise,
Aether Vial on 3 now.
Yeah, but you could get Flicker Wisped for your
on
Shrine.
The Shrine. That is true. That is true. You don't want.
Which means your 9 is not enough, but then still any spell from your deck kills your opponent.
I guess you are right. But worst case, like if Mark manages to deploy a Thalia this turn, then in response I assume he just dies. Doesn't he? No, because then the Rift Bolts can't be cast right now. So that would be Mark's ideal card here, I
think they are skewers, otherwise you should just have suspended your Rift Bolts, I believe. Because that's gonna take too long. Also, Mark attacked for 5, so he is at 11.
Mm-hmm.
And he drops a Displacer, signaling that he has another 3-drop as well.
Yep.
But I believe the plan here is to crack the Shrine for face. And then just show the 9 to your opponent.
And you hope that the opponent doesn't have Thalia.
Well, the vial is on 3. There is no Thalia in play, so... Oh, what? This is... I'm not sure what's happening here.
The bolt into
maybe
untap. So
they are Rift
Mark
Bolts anyway.
At 8.
But if they're Rift Bolts, I don't get why they didn't come off suspend. Okay, yeah, and only.
I mean, this is
he
lethal.
still keeps that Shrine open, but now he can die if Mark has any other creature, which he indicated
6, 7, 8.
by casting
the Displacer.
The Displacer.
Instead of using the vial to deploy that, yeah.
Oh. But it looks like Mark also has a lot of 2-drops, so.
There's the Aether Vial activation.
Nah, he's probably thinking it over.
Flicker Wisp. Targeting the Shrine.
Okay, but now you're inclined to
Crack the Shrine.
crack the Shrine on a creature. Oh.
I would be inclined to use that on the Scholar to get my Boros Charm back. To get in for extra points of damage.
I like that one. Because then you get your lethal back in hand. And whether you take a 9 or 8.
Yeah, you're taking not lethal.
doesn't
Which is
matter
basically
much.
the only thing that matters then, yeah.
But we will see what happens here. I mean, in a vacuum, the Eldrazi Displacer is a more threatening card,
That is true. That is true.
right? But
There's a temple.
well, actually,
Shambling Vent. I
Ooh.
missed that.
Oh, okay, so that would have been lethal
To be
if you
honest.
target anything other than a 3-power creature. But
Yep.
still, how are you winning this game from here?
So Mark gains 2, going up to 10.
And Ray, I believe, is at 1.
Yeah.
And he does have that Rift Bolt off suspend, and another Rift Bolt in his hand. So that won't
So-
work.
It's... Mark is at 7 now.
I think he doesn't have Mark is at 1-0.
Yeah, I was going to say, did he draw a burn spell or not? Apparently not.
So that looked really good somewhere for Ray, and then
All
it
downhill
all
from
went,
there.
to shit. I think it is on keeping those Rift Bolts in hand.
Yeah, I was
For
quite
li-
surprised
for a
at
little
that
bit
as well.
Too long. I can see why he did it, and Mark did have a Flicker Wisp, I believe, in the end. So maybe
I didn't
it
quite
was
get that. Why
correct.
would you keep the Rift Bolts in hand there?
Well, you're not necessarily trying to keep the Rift Bolt in hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to keep the mana open to activate the Shrine,
Right.
so that it doesn't get. But the problem with that line is that then your Rift Bolts are going to be too slow.
Yeah.
Or at least you can expect them to be too slow. So maybe it was just in a rougher spot than we imagined him there.
Yeah. Could very well be. Because, to be fair, Ray did have to respect the Flicker Wisp there. Like, that's completely fair of him to do. Because if he puts both the Rift Bolts on suspend and his Shrine does get Flicker Wisp, then he is definitely in trouble.
But I believe those shrines might be coming out for games 2 and 3.
I would assume so.
Instead, he has some.
I think the Eidolons are pretty bad.
The
Here as well.
Eidolons are bad against Leadervile,
Mm-hmm.
good against everything else. Probably on the play. I can see keeping them if your opponent doesn't have a vial. And it's a good consistent source of damage.
Makes sense.
If your opponent does have Leadervile, then
Makes sense.
they become pretty bad pretty quickly.
Any interesting cards in
There
Ray's
are
sideboard?
some Path to Exiles in the sideboard for Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And the Grim
Lavamancer?
Lavamancer for doing some board control. I think the Grim Lavamancer is definitely good enough.
Yeah.
And then there are some Skull Cracks and the Lightning Helix that might change up his burn suit somewhat.
Yeah.
Maybe those Rift Bolts are a liability against Wasteland Strangler, but not sure if you can take all of them out.
Yeah, I think you need a certain amount of critical mass when it comes to 1 mana burn spells in the burn deck. When I'm looking at Mark's sideboard, he has a Comball, Council of Allocation. We saw that in the
Okay.
last round as well.
Yeah.
That I assume is coming in.
That's
do some
better
very
here
good
than,
work. Fatal Pushes. I don't know if you want those.
Well,
to be
I
honest.
think, especially on the draw, if you can kill a persistent damage source in the creature,
Yep.
that's gonna be good. Especially if you expect that your opponent is more likely to go after your creatures, so they are not as reliable as blockers.
That's true. You might, like, they don't really do anything against the very spell-heavy hands that Burn can have, but I don't think,
Yeah,
looking
but,
at this list, you have a lot of options against that hand, besides the tools that your deck already offers. Like, you have the Thalia that will slow those hands down immensely, and the Comballs, I assume, coming in.
And I think that Celestial Purge also has a good chance to be
Yeah.
close to good enough.
Might be something to debate here. If you're looking at what's coming out, I think one of the very good cards in this list, if you're playing against the burn deck, you want to deploy a Thought Not Seer as soon as possible, I'd say.
I it's playing a 4/4 against a deck full of 3 damage spells is of
Pretty
course
good.
a plan.
And of course, the Thalias are really good. I don't know if you want the land destruction package against this kind of deck, Leonin Arbiters.
Maybe I think the Leonin Arbiter is just a bear, maybe slightly too much of the time. Of course, it also interacts favorably with fetch lands.
Yes, it does.
Slowing your opponent down, which Ray should have quite a few.
But the burn deck usually functions fine on just few amounts of mana, right?
Yeah, but especially if you also have a card like Talia.
Yeah, then it becomes...
They need to get some lands, and the second land is of course very important. So on the play it might be better, maybe on the draw it can come out. I think Flicker Wisp and Eldrazi Displacer have some nice tricks, but maybe they are a little
bit too slow.
On the slow side.
And yeah,
we'll see.
To be fair,
but there are not that many cards coming in. So.
Exactly. As we're looking at this, we only see like 2 or 3 cards that we probably see coming in from the side of Mark with Eldrazi and Taxes here. So we'll see how this game goes. It seems Mark has presented his deck so far. Ray is still debating on what exactly is going in and out. Might be
looking over his options.
Hung up on that, like the amount of 1 mana burn spells that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, especially with the addition of the new Rakdos mechanic, that Spectacle. He has 6 Spectacle cards in his deck.
Yeah, and you do want to make sure you enable those.
Yes, those Skewer the Critics for 3 mana, that's not a play you want to make.
Suddenly not a very modern playable card anymore.
It's acceptable in Limited, but...
yeah.
So we'll see what the players come up with.
So if you're Ray here, what kind of opening hand are you looking for?
Well, I think with Burn it's always have a creature and then some spells.
So lands and spells.
Well, but not too many. You want 2, 3. You're really hoping not to draw more than 4 lands. I believe. Well, I'm usually hoping not to have to play Burn. But
and on the side of Mark, what kind of cards are you looking for?
We talked about that Talia. That's really good. Maybe a turn 1 removal spell can help stem the bleeding.
Get rid of a fast Goblin Guide or Swiftspear.
Yeah, just prevent that from wreaking havoc on you. And then something like a Kaya to gain back life. But I think the most important part is locking up a bit of the board, trying to get your shots of damage in.
Yeah, because trying to just stabilize the assault that the burn deck.
Eventually the burn deck will kill you, right? It's throwing 2 damage a turn or something.
Yep.
Like that.
Let's see how it goes.
But the main way... we saw game 1 was a pretty interesting race. So
yeah.
We'll see what we get here.
I feel like these racing decks are usually pretty undervalued by the modern community. People say that Burn is one of the easy decks, which in part I guess is true because it has a fairly low floor for you to perform decently. But I think getting that 1 extra point of damage in with the Burn deck is crucial to play at tournament level.
Yeah, sequencing is really important. It's not necessarily the easiest deck to play. Well, it's one of the easier decks to play, harder to play well. Maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. However, it's just not winning that much these days. Right. So also no creature on turn 1, but we can see that the
tapped land into lightning bolt to the face from the side of Ray.
Always a nice start, and I think I see some Eidolon that stayed in, at least on the play.
There it is.
And there is no vial for Mark, so
Eidolon might be doing work. Yeah.
Well, I depending if he has a 1 mana removal spell, then it's not going to do that much work. But if this is any 2-drop,
there's Athalia, which does block the Eidolon favorably, but Mark does take 2 from the Eidolon here.
But if you can kill it, being Ray, then you're in
a great spot.
You're doing good, I think. it doesn't look like he's killing much anytime soon. Oh, there
Actually,
he is. Hit a lightning bolt from us.
So taking 2 from his own Eidolon here, going down to 18, and then the Eidolon swings
to 13.
for 2 as well. We're getting better at keeping the life totals.
The window to apply for this job is rapidly closing.
Yes, it is rapidly closing.
So if we're gonna see Leonin Arbiter here, then Ray is not
Not a
gonna
great
be
spot.
very happy about it.
That might be the reason why the hand without an Ether Vial or a removal spell was kept.
Ah, well,
Having the Thalia and the Arbiter.
Thalia is good, and here's a Kambal as well.
That is a great card here. Does take 2 from the Eidolon.
Down to 11, but you're gonna get that life back. If
That is true.
I don't know what Ray is asking, but those two don't quite cancel each other out. Mark is gonna gain some life in the process, and Ray is still only going down.
Yep. I mean, he's going to
doubly
take
so.
4, yeah.
But I believe that is a Rift Bolt.
Kambal is a beast in this match.
Yeah, he needs an answer for that. Is there one Kambal only?
I think so, yes.
Of course, it's legendary.
Only 1 in the 75.
Can't play more than one legendary. Oh. I think I also spotted Deflecting Palm in Ray's hand. Don't know where that came from, but that card that he has on top of his hand now. Oh, he moved them.
I didn't quite catch that, to be honest.
It's so nice if your players reveal their hands and then.
I think Deflecting Palm is a decent card in this matchup, but I don't think I would be looking to put it in. I think you might consider it an extra Boros charm at best case if you get to use it on a Thought Knot Seer or something. But
but the problem is if you get to the Thought Knot Seer should see it first. Right?
That's true.
It's not the best surprise if well, of course you can draw it after, but
yeah. No, you're correct.
also,
Looks like a vial in Mark's hand here.
Well, Mark is here debating how much land does Ray have in his deck. How many mountains does he have? Shall we look for him? It's gonna be a third mountain there.
So 3 mountains in Ray's deck.
Ah.
Which I guess is fair. There's a lot of.
But I am spotting that Arbiter also.
Yes, it does look like he has the Arbiter.
So maybe if I lays that down first. No.
Looks like he's going to play the Vial and lose 2. Guess he feels pretty safe with a combo in play.
Maybe the Ray's game plan is just.
I think Mark at this point is just comfortable in this position, right?
Yeah, the Vial is gonna be good against
the
Eidolon.
Eidolon.
Eidolon. You still have the Kambal in play. It doesn't look to be dying anytime soon. Ray doesn't seem to be doing anything.
10 page for mana.
Also mana screwed.
Job window is opening again. I don't believe he gained a life to 10. I don't think so. I might be wrong here, but these lands are all coming into play tapped.
Well, this turned into a bit of a stare down.
Which I believe Mark is happy with, to have this sort of stare down against the burn deck.
He has the stare down with I believe that tapped for colorless and wouldn't gain life anyway.
Yes, the Cave of Colorless, I believe that tapped for colorless as well, to play the Ether Vial.
Oh, it's a
In comes
draw
the
step
Scholar.
Tidal Scholar. Looking at the Ray's hand of uncastables. Though he just found a land. Well, that could kill any reasonable opponent.
Yep.
Oh, it's taking the deflecting palm. No, just noting it.
The Gumball being a 3 toughness creature, I'm quite surprised none of these lightning bolts. This lightning bolt hasn't targeted that creature just yet.
Well, that one lightning bolt.
Yeah, the one lightning bolt exactly.
Or is
I
it
thought
two?
I saw a second one, but I don't
There
think
is
I
a
did.
second one. I think between we have the lightning bolt next to the Boros charm, then a Skewer the critics,
And then another bolt.
and
Yeah.
another lightning bolt. Maybe that's why he's revealing them. But then with the land now, it could be all over quite soon. Even though he realistically only gets one shot at casting a white card for the Inspiring Vantage, I believe.
I think we do have the damage from the Eidolon here, actually.
Missed for the combo maybe.
So 2 damage to 7 for sure from the Tide Hollow Scholar.
No, that's coming in of the vial.
Oh yeah, right. So no cast there. No cast there.
But he's probably at 8. And we
With the life from the Gumball. We might have missed that. We
missed
might
the
have missed
Cave
that.
of Coilas.
Which leaves him at 8 now.
So we're finally going to Lightning Bolt.
There's a Rithbold suspend.
Okay. That card keeps confusing me.
Yep.
Not quite certain what's
What Ray's
the
plan is.
stare
here.
down is accomplishing for Ray.
Yeah, looking at Ray's hand, I'm quite confused. He's playing this
Looking very patient with his.
pretty passively.
So now this Wasteland Strangler could kill the Eidolon, but maybe it's better to let
leave
him
it up?
keep the Eidolon.
Yeah, I think you
Oh.
don't mind having the Eidolon.
Oh, but see,
It does get rid of the
eating,
Rift Bolt.
eating that Rift Bolt.
And this comes in off the Ether Vial as well, so no life loss. here.
That's going to be mean interaction.
Yeah, that's pretty rude. I think that's what Mark wants to do here.
Ray just, I think, passed too many turns in the early game.
Yeah, those are both gone. Something seems to be not quite... Oh, there we go. Yeah, because the Wasteland Strander has an ability to remove a card from your opponent from exile, being the Rift Bolt in suspend here. Move that to the graveyard and give a creature -3/-3, which means it wipes Ray's board, gets rid of the 3 damage that is on the stack, preparing to go anywhere there. And it opens up a spot for Mark to play the Leonian Arbiter without any repercussions from the Eidolon. Having a Ghost Quarter in play, I think that's pretty big. And the second one, getting rid of the Inspiring Vantage right away.
The problem is that you really want to cast the 2-mana white spell here to
Mhm.
make use of that Lotus Petal that this Ghost Quarter is leaving you.
Mm-hmm.
But you really need to answer that combo before you start throwing spells at your opponent's face, I believe.
He is going to try and cast
Depending
the Boros
on
Charm
the exact amount of damage he has, because this drops his opponent to
Let's see.
6.
2 and 4. So Ray takes 4 from the attack, I believe. And then Mark goes up to 10 first and then takes 4 going down to 6.
And Ray should be at a lower life total.
Yeah, so
probably.
2. Let's see. Comball is a 1/3, I believe.
A 2/3?
I'm not quite sure. A 2/3, you are correct.
Looks like a 2/3.
So that is 2
2
and
from the
4
scholar.
damage, and then 2 from the trigger that he just got, which means he takes 6, going down to 12.
But anyway, it's
This is a pretty rough spot if you're Ray.
he again doesn't have the. Oh, see that?
That's game 2. Mark taking that second game quite convincingly.
So that was a quick match after a jack check.
Yeah, looks like it.
No. Well, what do you expect from a burn deck against a creature deck? It's not gonna go.
I mean, you
Go
also
that
have
long, right?
you also have these great burn hands where you just have a bunch of spell, but then Kumbal really messes with you.
Yeah, Kumbal likes to see spells cast.
Yep.
Yeah, that first game looked a lot closer than the second one. Basically,
for
here Ray passed too many turns, I think, without being able to do much. So that means Mark will be moving on to 4-0 probably.
Looks like it, yeah.
And, so we might see some more of that black white Eldrazi deck.
Yeah. Might see it later today. You,
see, we did predict correctly what the would
Yeah,
board
the
in.
Fatal Pushes and the Kumbal and indeed the Celestial Purge did come in.
Well, I think he drew the best of those 4.
I think so as well, yeah. Kumbal kind of runs away with a game like that. I mean, obviously the Kumbal is only really good in this matchup, so that's why he only has one in the board.
Well, have you ever heard of a little deck with Goblin Electromancer and
I guess
Boral Chief of Compliance?
it's pretty good against Storm too, that is correct. But then it's more about the damage it does compared to the life it gains. I guess it's both in that case.
Yeah. No,
I guess it's both in that case.
you're correct. Heb je de winnaar, Mark?
Alright,
Are you
looks
gonna
like we
sit
have
with
our
him?
winner here.
Dan ga ik even checken hoe lang de ronde nog duurt.
So it looks like we have our victor here, Mark. First of all, congratulations on 4-0 now.
Thank you.
It was quite an interesting match. What do you think of the first few games? How'd it go?
Yeah, it's always tense. Against Burn,
Mm-hmm.
the matchup is supposed to be good, I heard, for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've lost to it a bunch of times, so
Mhm.
always exciting.
Mm-hmm.
The Kumbal did a lot. He kind of didn't play anything anymore after I played the Kumbal.
Yeah.
So it gave me a lot of time to build my army.
Yeah. We noticed that as well. The first we were a little bit scared for you when we saw the Eidolon hit the board without an Ether Vial.
Yeah.
Pretty rough answer for a hand without a vial, but then you did manage to deploy the Ether Vial anyway and get quite a bit of value out of your opponent's Eidolon there. The Wasteland Strangler was an all-star in that game as well, we noted. Getting rid of that Rift Bolt
Yeah,
and
value.
cleaning up the Eidolon at the same
One.
time. That's insane.
Feels
You
very
said
good.
you've lost this matchup quite a few times
For
before.
Sure, yeah.
What's the what went different this time then?
I think the waiting on his part, like he told me afterwards that he
Mhm.
didn't want to kill the Kumbal,
Mm-hmm.
because I was expecting him to kill it and go on.
Mm-hmm.
But he thought I might have a Flicker Wisp,
Right, to save it.
That would have been a big blowout to save it. I don't know if I had my vial on 3 already, but yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. So he held back a little bit too much and gave you a window
Yeah,
to close out that game.
I drew the right cards, and
Right.
good win.
Nice. Do you usually win the game 1 as well?
No, it's very common for me to lose to Burn.
Okay. Well, I mean, some
Game
days
1 for
everything
sure.
goes right, and
Yeah.
then
In the end, it seems slightly favored for
Okay.
me, from what I can tell.
all right. Well, currently 4-0, 3 more rounds until the cutoff to top 8. Have you seen anything that you're particularly scared of in the field today? We've seen the black and white Eldrazi and Taxes deck twice on the feature match area now. At least for us, it seems to be a popular deck today.
Yeah.
Is there anything that makes the deck really good right now?
I think Talia's good against the decks who wants to play a lot of spells, of course, the Phoenix decks. Yeah, it's the only modern deck that I've played actually ever.
Okay.
And
Just sticking with it, and
just
then
sticking with it. I enjoy the archetype played.
Some
in
days it
Texas
works.
in Legacy too, and so it's a favorite strategy
Nice.
of mine.
Nice.
And yeah, sometimes it works.
And what are you scared of to see for the rest of the day?
Control decks,
Control decks.
board wipes, Jaces, the fairies.
All right. All right. Well, congratulations on the win. Best of luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for hosting a cool tournament.